All right, guys, here's a little tropical update here. It is July 22nd. It's a Tuesday. The NHC has just now, a little bit after 8 p.m., issued a outlook, about a 10% chance of development here. You know, this time of year, you can't ignore anything low pressure related, trough related, when it enters warm Gulf waters. Now, that might be a very minimal chance. It could be a concrete chance. Doesn't matter. If there's something there, they've got to keep an eye on it. With that said, this is one of those minimal chances, but hey, you never say never. Look at the tropical satellite latest, and you can see that just now popping on here within the last hour and a half or so. And it depicts a broad area again in the central to western and northern Gulf of Mexico here over the next several days. And this is what we're looking at from a model perspective. This is the European model. And we'll start Wednesday morning at about 5 o'clock. We'll note that this will move essentially due west here throughout the day on Wednesday. The focus of the rain will be along the Florida Peninsula, along the Florida Big Bend area, southern Georgia, southern Alabama, as this tropical moisture moves off to the west. By Thursday afternoon, the trough center, the low pressure center, is going to be basically due south of New Orleans in the central Gulf again. Widespread rain stretching up into the southern half of Alabama. The Gulf Coast, the Mississippi coast, the Louisiana coast. Again, as this tropical moisture, this weak low continues to move west. By Friday, we'll see this very close to the Texas coastline, Galveston up towards Houston. The Louisiana, Mississippi coast seeing the bulk of the rain. Then you're going to notice a high pressure beginning to develop just east of Florida, and that's going to kind of help to push this even further to the west. Again, development not expected with this. If we see anything, probably a tropical depression again. Always have to watch this stuff this time of year, but our impacts along the Gulf Coast will essentially be rain and higher rip current risks here moving forward. And this is Saturday at about 4 o'clock. The low no longer visible there, but the rain, the tropical moisture still is, essentially from the Mississippi Delta, call it Natchez, Shreveport, all the way down to Corpus Christi will be the focus of the rain. And then this high begins to shift further to the west, and this will be part of a ridging pattern that takes us into next week, and will resume relatively dry conditions, isolated rain chances, and very warm afternoon temperatures. This is a look at tropical depression wind probabilities, essentially the likelihood that we see a tropical depression. Again, there's more to it than just the winds, but you look at the probability here through late week and early weekend, and the best bet is for it to if it does develop just south of the Louisiana coastline. You see this stuff and you're headed to the beach, you're like, oh no, you know, this looks rough, this looks bad. This will be a thunderstorm and a rip current risk along the Gulf Coast. There's no wind threat with this, nothing that will seem tropical in any nature. The reason we have to keep an eye this time of year is our sea surface temperatures are very warm. You'll notice some of the coastal locations approaching 88 degrees, and most of the central Gulf is in the mid to upper 80s as it stands, so always bears watching when we talk about the potential for development. Again, not expecting it with this, but it's never out of the realm of possibilities. We'll do your rip current risk here, and basically outlined along the coast a moderate, that yellow there. And we will have, at times, choppy conditions, primarily Thursday, Friday, decreasing on Saturday. And the maximum where we're going to see is likely single red flags. However, always keep an eye out for those flags. Those are updated, and we will see scattered rain chances throughout the duration of this. This is a look at the rain over the period that I just showed you, the next 5 days, and again depicting the highest totals down here in Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia counties, and then you head back into the central Florida Panhandle, and you've got areas like Walton County, Washington County, even back towards Jackson County. Mainly this will hug the coastline here, and again, it won't rain all day, but we'll certainly watch this as we move forward. Again, this is the NHC outlook. This is just after 8 o'clock this evening, and depicting that broad area with a very low end 10% chance of development. If we see anything, it would likely be a tropical depression. So just want to give you that update here on this Tuesday evening. Hope you're having a great start to the week, avoiding the heat. See you next time.